Hello, what culture? It's me, Simon Miller, and can you believe it? Another Royal Rumble is in the book, so it doesn't matter whether you liked it, and it doesn't matter whether you hated it, because it's part of history now. So even if you wanted to change it, you'd have to find a time machine and go back in time. And let's be honest, if you're finding a time machine and all you're doing with that is using it to kind of change the Royal Rumble, you've gone crazy. You should have come up with a better idea. But anyway, look, enough nonsense. Let's get right into this. We had 2 Royal Rumble matches, so we have to blow through this as quick as we can, otherwise we're going to be here all day. But let's up some downs for the damn Royal Rumble. And we do start with an up, as the opening match was indeed the WWE title match between AJ Styles, and he was taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. He retained. It was good. It's getting it up. The big twist here, to tie into all the Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan stuff, was that it certainly did seem like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn didn't actually tag. So when AJ Styles rolled up Kevin Owens for the pin, I don't think Kevin Owens was a legal man, so they got screwed, which means they can be all angry on SmackDown. But they were also angry at the Royal Rumble, and after the match they went backstage and they found Shane McMahon. They were yelling at him like, "Did you see that? Did you see that? What are you going to do? Did you see that?" And Shane obviously took his time and calmly went, "Yep," and he walked off. So there's a nice little story seed there. We can find out what's going on with that on Tuesday. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus the Usos was solid too, so that's getting it up. And as we are here, Chad Gable is awesome up. Unfortunately, Chad did get pinned after he was super kicked loads of times by Jey Uso, so that was 1-0 to the Usos. And then, if you can believe it, the other Uso rolled up Benjamin. That was 2-0. Usos retained their titles. Now, you may be thinking, what was the point of a 2 out of 3 falls stipulation match if we're just going to give the 2 falls to the Usos? But I actually kind of liked it, because usually with these matches, all we get is, one team wins one, one team wins the other, and they just have a normal match for the third. So this kind of stuff does actually keep the stipulation alive. But obviously it did nothing for Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. Still, good stuff. Tag team titles remain on the Usos. That's an up. And the third match of the night was the Royal Rumble. That's right, the men's Royal Rumble came third in the night, which was a bit crazy because it kind of killed the crowd. However, this was one of the best damn Royal Rumble matches I've seen in a while. It's getting an up, and again, brace yourself. We've got to go through the whole damn thing. It began with Rusev as number 1, and the fans were absolutely crazy for him, so instantly I was really happy, and then Finn Balor was number 2. Rusev 1, Finn Balor 2. That is a good way to start any Royal Rumble. We then got Rhino and Baron Corbin, and while Corbin did kick ass for a little bit, Finn Balor then surprised him, chucked him over the top rope, and that really pissed off the Lone Wolf. So he went crazy and he just took everybody out. Didn't throw anybody over the top rope like they sometimes do, but he just beat the hell out of everybody, which meant nothing was going on in the match. He did the same with Heath Slater, and Heath Slater hadn't even got to the ring. We were like, who's going to be next? Who's going to come out? Of course, it was Elias. He sang a little song which people both liked and people hated, because that's what people do with Elias. But he was interrupted by Andrade Cien Almas, the NXT champion. Number 8 was next, if you've lost count, and it was my best friend Bray Wyatt. At this stage of the match, everybody was getting back to their feet. We had big fights all over the place again. Finn Balor was back and Rusev was back and all that stuff. Number 9 was Big E, and he went straight to Heath Slater and started feeding him pancakes because he was still feeling the effects of what Baron Corbin had done to him. And at this point I realised, hey, WWE is actually having a lot of fun with this Royal Rumble, and thereby proxy, I'm having fun as well. So yeah, so far this was all going well, and it keeps going well, so don't worry about that. It's pretty much good from now to the end. Lightning then struck twice because at number 10 was Ty Dillinger, or would have been, but backstage Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn jumped him, and Sami Zayn just took his spot. It's one of those stupid Royal Rumble rules where you roll your eyes a bit like, that doesn't make any sense, but hey, it's what happened. So really, technically, number 10, Sami Zayn. 11 was Sheamus, and that did make me sigh a little bit, because I was like, we haven't even seen the Raw Tag Team title match, and yet Sheamus is in the Royal Rumble. But then WWE saved it instantly, because Slater, who had been selling his beating from Corbin the whole time, popped up, and he eliminated Sheamus almost instantly. That was great, because it made me explode with surprise. And I like exploding with surprise. Although then Bray just tossed Slater from nowhere, and it'd be like, oh, okay then. Maybe I shouldn't have exploded with surprise. Xavier Woods arrived at 12, Apollo Crews was 13, and Nakamura was 14, and at this stage, the Rumble was absolutely filled, so you had to imagine that soon people were going to get chucked. Nakamura then got rid of Zayn, making that whole point earlier on absolutely pointless. And then Cesaro arrived at 15 with Kofi being 16, and that meant the New Day trifecta was now complete. Cesaro then realised somebody needs to get thrown out, so he threw out Apollo Crews. Jin did enter at 17, and somehow this was his first ever Royal Rumble, and he went about getting rid of Big E and Xavier Woods, and that annoyed everybody, so Jinder was now like super heel. 18 was Seth Rollins, and everybody was happy to see him, and also he was wearing fire on his tights, because you know, He burns the world down. Kind of played into the tag team match that we were going to get later on, and that Rollins threw out Cesaro, and then Kofi had his big Royal Rumble spot, and I'd be lying if I said I liked it, because I didn't like it. In fact, it's going to get it down. Jinder threw him out, but he landed on Xavier Woods. His right foot or left foot, whichever one it was, landed on Xavier Woods, and then Big E put some pancakes down. So Kofi stood on that, and it was cute, and it was funny, but come on. We need to stop mucking around with these rules. If somebody gets thrown out, they're out, and that's that. This was too much. It was too much. The rest of the New Day then did pogo stick him back into the ring, however, and that was amazing. And he chucked out Jinder, and that little spot was really good. Seconds later, though, Almas just eliminated Kofi. 19 was the Woken one, and I was pleased because Matt Hardy makes me pleased. And then he teamed up with Bray Wyatt to chuck out Rusev. And that made me mad, and it made the crowd mad, because why couldn't Rusev have lasted till the end? And also, then Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy started fighting, and they eliminated each other. It was just strange all around. Which brought the big boys out, because number 20 was John Cena, and I'll be honest with you, he was really, really green. I mean, he was wearing so much green, it was ridiculous, and he quickly became public enemy number 1, because everybody started to beat down on him, and when that cleared, Elias saw his chance, you know, after the big skit on Raw 25, John Cena just picked him up, threw him out. So I'm really glad we dedicated all that time to it. In fact, that can be a down too. That can be a down. Tick the down. Is that the upside? Down. Wherever down is, tick that down. Our first big surprise was next, though, as the Hurricane was at 21. It really made me smile, because he's just so daft. That's getting it up. Unfortunately, he had no damn time whatsoever, because John Cena threw him out too. John Cena at this stage was a massive heel. He was making me mad. 22 was Aiden English, and 23 was Adam Cole. Now, usually I don't like throwing NXT guys into the Rumble because they're never going to win, but the crowd loved it so much, and I loved it so much, couldn't help but go 2 thumbs up, WWE. This was all right. Aiden English was then knocked out by Balor, and Randy Orton then came in at number 24, hit an amazing RKO on Almas. Then he got rid of the NXT champ. You may be top of your little developmental territory, but you ain't no main eventer on the main roster. 25 was Titus O'Neil, 26 was The Miz, 27 was flipping Rey Mysterio up. He was really quick as well and looked like he de-aged 10 years. And they even decided to let him throw out Adam Cole, and that was actually quite smart, because everybody there was so excited to see Mysterio, didn't really care that Adam Cole got thrown out by Mysterio. But the boos weren't far behind, because at number 28 was Roman Reigns, and he was a bit like a pantomime villain here, like some awful adult that was stealing a child's sweets. Roman threw out Titus, and then he went to throw out The Miz, but the Miztourage stopped that from happening. So the Shield, and that was Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, got together to make sure The Miz would go out. But then when he wasn't looking, Roman Reigns grabbed Seth Rollins and he threw him out there. What an asshole Roman is. 29 was Goldust and 30 was Dolph Ziggler, so he's just back. No idea what that storyline was all about, and I think on his tights he had pictures of The Undertaker. It looked like The Undertaker, maybe it wasn't The Undertaker, but hey, we had all those Undertaker rumours right. They were clearly rubbish. Ziggler knocked out Goldust, then Finn Balor just knocked out Dolph Ziggler. Pointless. Reigns got rid of Orton, and then Finn got rid of Rey Mysterio, and that left us with the final 4, which was Balor, Nakamura, Cena, and Roman Reigns. This was kind of cool, because at one point Reigns and Cena were acting like a bad guy tag team, which we've always wanted to see. Now we're going against the good guy tag team of Nakamura and Balor. Cena, of all people, then got rid of Balor, but then Nakamura needs Cena out of there, which bent it down to Reigns versus Nakamura, and you could feel the fear. You could also feel the excitement in the crowd. Shinsuke did indeed throw Roman Reigns out after a call back and forth though, which means Shinsuke Nakamura is your Royal Rumble winner, and this was great because all the fans wanted to see this. Finally, a guy we wanted to see win the Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble, everybody cheers. Definitely an up. Unfortunately, the Raw Tag Team titles had to go on after this, and by this point, the crowd was absolutely sapped of all energy, and it wasn't really that great anyway, so it's getting it down. Jason Jordan is hurt for real, so he was taken out within the story early in the match, which meant it was basically Seth Rollins going against the Bar, but he got screwed over because at one point Jordan decided, oh no, I am okay. He tagged in, then realized he wasn't okay. He tagged back out, double white noise on Seth Rollins, new tag team champion Sheamus and Cesaro. That was that. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but after everything we'd just seen, it did feel like a bit of a lull. It was kind of good to get it out of the way. The Universal title was next, and the basic concept here was let's break as many tables as possible. Getting it up. At one point, Braun Strowman did have Lesnar beat after 2 power slams, but Kane stopped that by just chucking a chair at Braun, so that meant he was distracted. He got F5 by Brock. Brock wins 1, 2, 3. Braun Strowman is kept strong. Kane takes the bin. Everything we thought, okay, that's cool, again up. The funniest bit though was when Strowman accidentally kneed Lesnar for real, and Lesnar just clocked him right back like, don't you ever do that to me again. That was kind of funny. And then it was the main event, which was the Women's Royal Rumble. And I'll be honest with you, 2 Rumbles in one night is too much. I prefer an alternation where one year we had men's and one year we had women's, but still, this was good, it's getting it up. I won't lie, I thought Maria Menounos and Stephanie McMahon grated a little bit, but that's neither here nor there, and as a booked match to separate it from the men's one, WWE did well. Started with Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch, and that got the crowd all pumped up. And from there, Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose, and Lita of all people turned up. Lita got the first elimination too by eliminating Mandy Rose. Kairi Sane then surprised us all, followed up by Tamina at number 7, and Tamina got thrown out by Lita, pushing that young up-and-comer known as Lita. Also, at this point, Michael Cole described Kairi Sane as having a yacht persona. A yacht persona. Thanks, Michael Cole. Thanks. During all this, Lita was also thrown out by Becky Lynch, and then Dana Brooke arrived, meaning this time, WWE didn't forget you, Dana. I saw your tweet. They remembered you. And they decided she should eliminate Zayn too, so that's quite nice, but the crowd didn't like that at all. Number 9 was Torrie Wilson, who still looks like an utterly different person these days, and she threw out Dana Brooke. And number 10 was Sonya Deville, and her job was to get rid of Torrie Wilson, so she got rid of Torrie Wilson. Number 11 was Liv Morgan, and it was at this moment I realised I hate the Riot Squad's music. 12 was Molly Holly, even though she told everyone she wasn't going to be there. It's almost like wrestling as a work, and she threw out Logan. And then it was Lana at 13, and at 14 was the strongest person in the history of Royal Rumbles, and I wonder why that is, Michelle McCool. Which led to Deville, Morgan, Holly, and Lana all getting chucked out by McCool as if she was Roman Reigns. She was booked super strong. She whooped people's ass in seconds. That gets a mid-rumble down too, no need for that down. Ruby Riott arrived at 15, and then 16 was Vicky Guerrero, and this was hilarious because she did her big excuse me thing constantly with her grating voice, and she annoyed everyone so much that they all came together and just plopped her right back out. Carmella and Natalya were 17 and 18 respectively, and Natty was deemed good enough to get rid of McCool, so he got rid of McCool. 19 was Kelly, and she looks exactly the same as she did 10 years ago, whatever, hasn't aged at all, and 20 was Naomi. The ring was getting crowded at this point, so Ruby Riott just tossed out Becky Lynch. 21 was next, and it was Jacqueline, and 22 was Nia Jax, and she was booked to just go crazy, so she went real crazy. Jacqueline, Kelly, Riott, and Naomi all got tossed because Jax is a big monster, although Naomi had a big Kofi Kingston spot where she tried to get back in the ring using a chair, and then Jax was like, alright, I'll just chuck you out again. So she did. Jax did look pretty good here, so that was good. And 23 was Ember Moon, and Ember Moon is awesome. 24 was Beth Phoenix, and she had a lovely moment with Natty, because you know, they're really good friends, although Natty didn't think so, because she turned her back on Beth Phoenix, and Beth Phoenix was out of there too. Asuka was next, and she got an awesome reaction, and she's just awesome in general, and she went right back into her feud with Ember Moon, which was nice for the fans, before eventually getting Ember out of there. When I say she got Ember out of there, basically Ember Moon jumped over the top rope. Whoops. 26 went to Mickie James, and 27 was a returning Nikki Bella, who thought she'd get rid of Carmella. As we had one Bella, we had to have another one, so Brie arrived. 28 was Bayley, and then 30 was Trish Stratus. And let's be face it, that was a nice little moment. Stratus eliminated Mickie James, and that was a brilliant back and forth because of their feud way back in the day. And then everyone turned their sights on Nia Jax, and they all threw her over the top rope. Sasha Banks then turned her back on Bayley and got rid of her. Natty was done thanks to Trish, and then Sasha Banks continued her war of dominance, and she threw out Trish Stratus. Banks was then surprised by both Bella twins, but in turn, that meant Brie let her guard down, and Nikki, her own sister, chucked her over, which left us with Nikki and Asuka, and you know what happened here. Well, you may think Nikki, but you're wrong. It was Asuka. She won, and she is the first ever women's winner Royal Rumble. That was a sentence. It wasn't a sentence. Grammar was all the wrong way around. I just love this. I love this. Nakamura wins one. Asuka wins the other. That's good stuff, WWE. Well done, you did it. There was more after this, though, because Charlotte and Alexa Bliss got in the ring, the two champions, with the winner of the Royal Rumble. And whose side is she going to pick? And can you believe it? Some music played and out walked Ronda Rousey, and that of course is going to get an up. However, it is going to get down because what are people in the production truck doing? We didn't see what the fans were seeing, so while the fans reacted, we didn't know what they were reacting to because we had a shot of everybody in the ring, while the Titantron had Rousey in big letters. It's like when AJ Styles debuted. What is the point? This was really, really bad and took away from the moment, and also everything else they did after this was just really awkward. And there was a cool moment when Asuka and Rousey went to shake hands, and Asuka just slapped it away, but it's just, I don't know, this fell flat. It's an amazing story, and apparently Ronda Rousey is there full time, but otherwise the execution, there's that word again, execution was bad. And Ronda Rousey went to shake Stephanie McMahon's hand, who the whole time pretended she didn't know what was going on. Ridiculous this, ridiculous. However, Ronda Rousey being in the WWE, amazing. And she didn't win the Royal Rumble, which is what a lot of people didn't want, so you got everything you wanted. Rousey's in, you go do something at WrestleMania, you didn't win the first ever Women's Rumble, happy days. But with all those little moans, I do have to say I thought the Royal Rumble was a great show, and even though it went on for about 4.5 hours, actually felt quite quick, even if, like I say, 2 Royal Rumbles is actually a little bit too much. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's Royal Rumble. Like, share and subscribe, head over to WhatCulture.com and read some articles. Go to Twitter, follow WhatCulture at WhatCulture WWE. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Happy Royal Rumble Day. Happy Rusev Day.
So, thanks for watching. Please feel free to click on any of these things around my head, or something terrible might happen to the dog. Too sweet me, bro. Traitor. Traitor.